My name is Misuzulu. I'm an attorney for Donda Attorneys and the Managing Director. And we are attorneys who are instructing the advocates, our advocate Mandel to be, in this case, to apply for an urgent application. So simply our rejection is simple. The judgment is saying there was a consent to be in a polygamous marriage, which we are saying, yes, there might be that conversation if you read the letter, which is QN3 in the papers. But the point is, the Queen is saying until things have been done correctly, she will then be able to say then she can consent to any person who can be in a polygamous marriage. So let's look at the law. Firstly, in a civil marriage, you cannot enter into any other marriage while that marriage is subsisting. So if it happens that on the 26th, I'm just making an example, that particular marriage continues as a customary marriage, we are saying that will be a criminal offense that is stated as polygamy. And what the court should have looked at, which we disagree with, is that the court is saying it's not clear what is going to happen on the 24th and the 26th. The papers are there. The letter that was used to notify the public by Zulu. It says on the 24th, which is a ceremony before the wedding. And then on the 26th, there will be what you call umgaqo, which is the actual event for a customary marriage to be finalized. So the court should have looked at that and said, as the court understands these things, because I suppose he understands that the traditional issues of marriage or the arrangement, you should have seen that on the day there will be a marriage. It's clear the invitation is there. So we are saying that should have been looked at, that it has been established that the marriage will continue. Now let's look at the consent again. When it comes to the consent, we are saying the Queen will not consent to a polygamous marriage when there are two issues. The first issue is that she is in a civil union marriage, which is according to the Marriages Act 1961. If you are married in that kind of marriage, even if you give consent, it's illegal, and as I've said, it's a polygamy offense. And then secondly, when you consent to a polygamous marriage, you consent to the person that is coming in. So it's not just anybody. The Queen is not consented to money, but for the institution of a marriage as a polygamous marriage, she's consented to that. So the way forward is, if the marriage continues, we will ask the Queen and get instructions whether it can be taken to court to apply for that marriage to be deemed void ab initio or from the beginning, because even the respondent did agree that if he does get married, should it happen, although he's denying that he's going to be married, His Majesty, we believe that once he gets married on the 26th, that marriage should be void. And if the Queen instructs us, we'll be then taking this matter back to court again. And the papers that were used will probably be used as an annexure to prove that the King was aware that if he gets married, he will be in a marriage that is now what you can call it polygamy. And importantly, we will then wait for the instruction from the Queen what will happen.
Now, I'm going to apply the rules that are applicable to urgent applications. If you bring the matter on an urgent basis, you must show me that there's a right which is going to be infringed, show me that there's no other or alternative resolution forum that you could have gone to, show me that you're going to suffer irreparable harm, and show me that on the balance of convenience and the merits, the merits actually favor you. Remember, you're the one who's the applicant, you bear the onus on proving that in the balance of probabilities. Anything that you don't bring to me that would have assisted your case is going to be to your detriment. Anything that you bring to me which is going to cause the shortfall of your application, again, is going to be upon you. In which then the judge said, in this case, you are the one that brought me the letter that says you agree to all the process being made, you agree to the second marriage being undertaken. Why now are you backtracking and say something else is going to be done? But most importantly, you're not showing me the type of irreparable harm which is going to be there or the rights that are going to be infringed. On those bases, I can't find in your favor due to the lack of agency, due to the fact that you haven't been able to display in a much more explicit manner as which right is going to be infringed. If the situation was there's no letter, there was no agreement that second two otherwise are going to be brought into the fore, maybe they would have come to the conclusion to say everything is done. But in this case, the court was simply saying, on your own papers, on your own version, you have no problem, and the King is simply executing it in a manner in which you would agree to initially. Should the King, yes, the King can. In fact, in his defense or argument in the definition of a marriage, will go back to what the court has said, to say I was not executing the final steps of the marriage. I was simply doing part processes which will then culminate to a marriage being formulated. And the marriage will only be formulated when, after all the events have taken place, I then go to Home Affairs. And within that particular Home Affairs, I say, please register my marriage, and there's no other civil marriage that will exist according to their records.
It's very important for us to note that the Queen KaMayisela respects the throne, and she also respects the King Misuzulu, and she wants to ensure that the Zulu customs are done properly and everything is done where there's an amicable solution. Yes, there's a divorce proceedings that are continuing, but it has not been finalized. So she wants to make sure that it's clear that what she was doing was to protect her rights as a queen, as a woman, as a black woman. But she does want to ensure that she wants to make sure that she supports the king in making sure that the Zulu nation is built as a strong nation.